Hello and welcome to Brony Music History. It's the podcast where we round up the history of Brony music. Normally, I do a pretty long introduction for our guest, but you'll find out pretty quickly that our guest today can be summed up with the phrase, absolutely shreds, been shredding since December of 2011, and still shredding today. He's released on Balloon Party, Ponies at Dawn, and he's played across the globe at BronyCon, Derpyfest, Requestria, Buck, Mayhem, UK PonyCon, and most recently at PonyCon Holland, plus more. Please welcome from the UK, PrinceWhateverer.
Hello, it's me.
And also, I would want to add to that there's a rumor that you're a vampire just based on your sleep schedule. So thank you for joining me out in the sunlight very early this morning.
Yeah, I might as well be at this point. I feel dead, but that's fine. We got coffee. It's gonna be fine.
We have coffee. Apparently, they do actually drink coffee in the UK. It's not just tea.
Yeah, in extreme cases, yeah.
Oh, extraordinary times, extraordinary measures. Yeah, cool. So let's wind the clock right back. Our first question comes from Compute Doggo. Says, when did you first pick up the guitar and learn, and what drove you to do it?
Oh, geez. When I first picked it up, my first electric guitar was a Christmas present, but before that, I had a really janky acoustic for like a year. Oh, God. I don't know exactly the year, but I know I picked it up because of a friend in high school. He was a guitarist, and he was my best friend, and he was the coolest guy. I was like, I want to be like him. And, well, yeah, I didn't stop playing guitar. I used to do art back then. That was my main thing, but I wasn't getting very good very quickly, and it kind of bugged me. But I was improving at guitar quite rapidly, so I kind of stuck with that instead. And yeah, I switched my path from art to music back in, God, what year would it have been? 2006, maybe. Yeah, a long time ago. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I started.
Yeah, okay, cool. And so that means that you were into music first before Pony.
Yeah, definitely musician before I was a horse musician specifically.
Yeah, yeah. And so in that sort of 2011 period, just before you joined the fandom, were you playing in gigs? Were you releasing music? Doing anything like that?
Yeah, I used to be in a lot of local bands. God, well, the main one I was in, we released I think one EP and one album, but they were both god awful, so bad. We thought they were amazing at the time, of course, but like, yeah, they're fucking atrocious. But yeah, like I used to be in a lot of local other normie music ventures before Pony stuff.
And what sort of music were you listening to around that time? What are your big influences from before Pony?
Oh, around that time, it was almost exclusively A Day to Remember back then. I love that band. I still love them. I haven't listened to them in ages properly, but I should listen to their
Are
new stuff.
they
But
are
yeah,
they
back
like
then.
pop punk or metal or?
Geez, they people say they kind of originated this genre of like pop punk metal stuff, where it's like got your pop punky verses, choruses, and you got your heavy breakdowns, lots of screaming and stuff all in one, which was great. I don't think they originated it like some people do, but they definitely brought it to the forefront. They were amazing at that, and it was the exact kind of music I wanted. I wanted heavy, but I love melodic like choruses and stuff. So yeah, the standard thing.
Yeah, mad, mad, mad. And so in I noticed you actually put up on your Twitter that October 10th is your anniversary in Pony. Was that when you started watching the show, or was that when you started listening to music?
Oh, that I don't think that's my anniversary.
Oh, whoops. Okay.
That's the anniversary of Pony when episode 1 of season 4,
Oh.
episode 1 of Gen 4 aired. Yeah, mine is
Uh,
like December 3rd is when I put up my first song. Yeah, December 3rd, 2011. Oof.
and it's a Beyond Her Garden cover.
Yeah, kind of a cover. I think. What did I even sing in that one, or was it just
Yeah, you did. I think.
Oh, jeez, how unfortunate. Okay.
So what got you started watching the show or listening to the music?
Oh, okay. So the back then, 2011, like I'm sure you had it as well, where you're at. Big like kind of sceney phase, like brightly colored T-shirts with like zombie unicorns or whatever on there. And I happened across a T-shirt that was it was Rainbow Dash and Pinkie Pie doing a bro hoof, but really like stylized cartoon, really neon colors, and they said like bronies before honies in some really scratchy font. And I was like, yo, that looks sick, and I bought it because like I used to watch the Gen 1 show on like VCR back in the day. And so I bought this t-shirt and I wore it to college. And a friend of mine was like, yo, I didn't know you were a brony. And I was like, yo, what the hell is a brony? And he's like, oh yeah, there's a new series of that show that you're literally wearing. You should watch it. And yeah, and I did it. And he's still in the fandom as well. He's an artist. It's doing pretty well for himself, which is super cool.
Yeah, cool. And did you discover pony music like immediately, or did that come a bit later?
I actually can't remember. All I know is that not long after that, I was listening to like Tombstone and stuff. I think it's because I was trying to look up the show on YouTube, because this was kind of not too long after YouTube became a Google thing. So before, like not long before, you could watch like anime and stuff on YouTube or any TV show you wanted. So I tried looking at Pony on there, but a ton of fan-made material came up. I was like, oh, what the hell is this? And I was like, yo, this is cool. I do music. Maybe I'll try. And yeah, that's that. There. Yep. That ruined my life.
Yeah. 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 And so when you joined, so that sort of 2011 period, not particularly well known for its like rock and metal. You had a couple of people in that early fandom. Were you seeing a lot of other people making the sort of music you wanted to like hear, and also the music that you wanted to make when you joined?
Oof. Few similar ones. The closest one back then was probably Ism Boff, which he was awesome. But like there was people like Brony and Tarby doing other rocky metal-y things, and that's pretty cool. There was a guy called Pinky Guy, also went by Needs More Gent at the time. He was super killer. But yeah, most of them, I think Tarby's still like kind of around, but the rest are more or less moved on as far as I can tell.
Yeah, Tarby's still posting on Twitter, and we love that.
Hey.
Yeah, cool. So, So you mentioned the first track you sort of contributed to the fandom was Beyond Her Garden tribute, and then there was also a Nightmare Night tribute just after that. And your first original track, released first on December 28 of 2011, is Rainbow Thrash. Do you remember like what you were thinking about like going into this track? What you were inspired by?
Oh, I just thought like a fast pop punk song because that's what I thought fit her quite well. And yeah, like it's kind of awful, but I guess it still fits the motif, so whatever, I guess.
And if you look on YouTube, there's two versions. Well, there's three versions now because I think you did a remaster a bit later. But there's two versions. One was released 2 days after the other one. Can you walk us through why that is?
Oh, okay. So before this, I'd mixed a bunch of crap for my like local bands and stuff, and it was all garbage. But I don't know. For some reason, when it came to Pony, I took it way more seriously. Because I think it's because it was a solo thing. Like, it's all if it sucks, it's because I suck, and there's no other person that can really pass the blame on to there. So yeah, I tried really hard to like mix it better and got some feedback on the first version. Yeah, like the differences are very minimal, if anything, and I remember I used to do the lyric videos for these where the lyrics pop up on screen. I used to do it the same day as I released it, and I kind of underestimate how long they took. I had a friend around the day I made this. I remember because I annoyed the crap out of him. Because yeah, we were meant to go somewhere or do something, and I was there for hours working on this video. Like, oh, I'll just finish it quick. I'll post it because I thought it would be quick, and it was not quick. It took like 4 hours. But yeah, that one's pretty crusty.
Yeah, well, it's crusty, but also it's your first original work, and it'd be remiss if we didn't start the journey with something crusty. So let's give Rainbow Thrash, the second version from December 2011, a spin.
Yeah.
Even though you're alone, don't think that we don't care, we'll be right there. Let us know if you need a friend. Help you through your worst nightmares. Don't you see, your friends are all you need. So don't just go alone, right here is where it's home. So Rainbow, now you see, that friends are all you need. You'll never go alone, your friends are where it's home. Not alone, there we go, you see that, we'll care always right there. So you know if you need a hug now, we'll save you from nightmares. Pinkie Pie, Applejack, Fluttershy, Rarity, Twilight Sparkle.
Yeah, those vocals are definitely something.
So many things. Oh my god, so many things. Yeah.
But hey, it's been 10 years, and if you weren't looking at that and going, oh, that sounds a bit, after 10 years, I think there'd be a problem there.
Yes, that's my my consolation prize.
Yeah. So, like, how old were you at this point in the fandom?
Oh geez, okay, so I'm like 28 right now. That was December of basically exactly 10
About 10 years ago, so 18.
Yeah, 18.
Yeah, so
Oh.
what was the reception like for you, like compared to what the reception had been like for when you were sort of making more normal music?
Oh, definitely better with pony stuff because there was like a fandom ready and willing to listen to it, and like back in the day, everyone was very forgiving of the kind of jank that came with, you know, like Babby's first fan content. Um, yeah, it was good. And it got on Equestria Daily, which back then was an absolute dream. Still is pretty cool today, but back then it was like because there was so much content and so many posts on there, it was like a huge deal. And yeah, that was super cool. Yeah, I don't know.
And did you feel like inspired to like keep going based on how you felt after those initial tracks, or was it one of those sort of things where it's just like, I'm just going to keep releasing music and not thinking too much about it?
It was kind of both. It was I've never gotten such a hugely positive reception from releasing music. Like we got a bunch of people being nice to us at shows and stuff, and it was great. But like, like people are usually nice to you when you're face to face, right? So
Yeah, absolutely.
and like on the internet, people are brutal. So I was expecting to get hated. Like some people didn't like it, and like honestly, I don't like it, so that's fine. But a lot of people really liked it, and I was like, wow, okay, that's cool, and it really pushed me to keep going. And I also love doing it, so like it was a win-win for me. Yeah, tons of fun.
Yeah, sweet. And so progressing through in you sort of chipping away at your music over the course of late 2011, 2012. In 2012, you get on Balloon Party with a big collaboration piece. Back when Balloon Party was a thing that existed. And you keep plugging along, but yeah, in 2014, you play your first buck. Was that the first convention that you'd attended?
No, I had gone to BronyCon 2013 previously, which was an insane experience for me. Um, I went to like some little meetup in London, like the year prior, I think. But yeah, those were the only two things before Buck 14.
Yeah,
I
yeah. And
think.
what was so? Did you perform at BronyCon in 2013, or was Buck your first performance?
I was on stage for featuring in the DB Pony song he did called Wonderbolt. I featured some vocals, so at BronyCon he had me come up on stage and sing it.
Oh, sick.
I think he played it. He played it on two separate nights at the con, and God, I was so bad. But yeah, for one night, it was the issue was that I couldn't hear me, but the crowd could hear me. And then the other night, it was the opposite. Only I could hear me. The crowd couldn't hear me at all. So yeah, a couple issues, but whatever. It was still a cool experience, so I'm happy.
Yeah, and I guess as you know, like traveling to a different country and getting to play there is always fun, regardless of how well or poorly it goes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so, what was your first performance at Buck like? How did that go?
Wasn't too awful. It could have been worse. Oh geez, I was in a different kind of mindset with live music back then, so I was like, I can't backing track anything. I can't have anything help us out. We have to play like me and two other guys. We have to play this all just instruments go. There's no like helping us in any way. So it was just one guitar, me singing, bass and drums, and the kind of music I do needs more. You need like a rhythm and a lead guitar. Sometimes there's like backing synths and stuff you need. Also, because I use a lot of synth in my tracks when I write them, it meant I couldn't play a lot of them because I didn't want to use any of that. So it really limited us, and it was kind of awful. But it was the best we could have done.
Did
Yeah,
did the
it's
did the crowd
whatever.
think it was awful?
I think some people quite liked it. From what I saw, people quite liked it. But I'm sure some people didn't like it, and I cannot blame them at all for that.
Yeah,
I probably wouldn't have liked it myself if I was out there.
yeah, yeah. And so you've played conventions like in America, in Russia, in Holland, in the UK, and you were one of the headliners for Mayhem at BronyCon. How has like live performances changed at conventions? Like, what have you seen change at conventions, and also what's changed for you with the way that you've approached things?
Conventions they changed how they do things a lot. It used to be, I think they were doing more of like a festival style thing where oh, excuse me, there was like conventions usually 2 or 3 day things, and they'd have the same acts on both days for anyone who missed whichever other day. But now they do it like day one is these acts, day two is these acts if there is a 2 day concert thing, or there's one day that's the concert, depends on the size of the con usually. So they've done that, so you get more acts in, but then if you miss one, that's it, you've missed them. With performing though, oh geez, I basically backing track most of it now, I guess, because I try to have the full song experience, but I'll take out all the parts that I can play and all the parts I can sing, and then I'll do that myself. And I've got it set up so that if I have other people with me, like a bassist plays with me, I can just shut off the backing bass and then have the bassist play. Same with the second guitar and the drums and everything. So I can basically perform with as much or as little assistance as I need, which is nice. It means I can always perform properly, but it is nicer to have a whole band. There's no being that energy.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
yeah, I just trying to be flexible, you know.
Yeah, yeah. There is nothing like real people on stage banging real instruments. It just
Mm.
the just I don't know what it is. It's like a mystical power. Um,
Yeah, energy.
it's just vibes. I think it's also like obviously probably something to do with stage presence as well.
Yeah, helps.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Yeah, yeah. And so after in my opinion, having sort of listened through your discography to research this, sort of that 2014 and getting into 2015 period, there's this really noticeable jump in quality in a lot of your songs, and I especially think that the difference between Your Own Sky, which was released in June of 2015, and anything before it is just like it just stands so much higher than anything that came before it. Like, what what was driving you around that point to keep improving your music and keep improving like the quality of the execution?
Oh, jeez. It often depended on the song. If I thought a song was like, okay, it was pretty good, I just mix it together, release it. I usually do put a lot of time into mixing, but I'd kind of just do whatever and like, yeah, I'd mix it as I normally would. Your Own Sky was a special case because I learned a lot of things with that. I think at the same time I've been to 2 colleges for music, and the first one was garbage. Second one was quite useful, and I think I was in that college around the time of Your Own Sky's release. So I was learning some stuff that was actually quite helpful to me. And I really liked how that song was going. That song took forever to write. Like the instrumentation was done pretty quickly, and I loved it. And I was like, I need something quite special lyrically for this. So I wrote like, oh geez, many whole songs of lyrics for that I just scrapped because I was like, not good enough. Start over. And yeah, and while I was writing lyrics over and over, I was also just kept poking away at the mix, trying to make it a bit better. And it's one of those rare ones that still holds up pretty well today. That one and Breaking Bonds, I think that's another one I spent forever trying to mix. So those ones, they're not great, but they hold up pretty well considering, in my opinion, anyway. But yeah, that one, yeah, it happens with songs sometimes. Like I'll spend a lot more effort on the mix if I really enjoy how the song is sounding, and that was one of them. And yeah, I learned a lot, and I carried what I learned into the future other songs I was writing.
Yeah, and that would be the first song that would eventually become a part of Reinvent, which is your first album. Wait, was that your first album or your second?
That's technically my second, but the first one is literal trash. So
Yeah, okay.
I count it as the first.
Yeah, and so Reinvent, was there ever any intention for Reinvent to be its own album, or did it just sort of happen that you just sort of accumulated enough tracks that eventually you were like, oh, probably I should put all these together in one place?
I wanted to make an album, but it's difficult on YouTube because albums take a long time, and you want to keep a lot of the tracks secret. So like you have stuff to show when the album comes out, but at the same time with YouTube, you need to stick to a schedule, be releasing every month is my usual schedule. And yeah, if you take too long, then you've already released all your tracks and you got nothing to show for the album, so it's hard. Which I think was the case. I think I had 4 or 5 unheard tracks on that when it came out, and it was like a 12, 13, 14 track album, I forget. But yeah, that was a big worry with the album thing. And like, yeah, I planned to do it. I did want to make an album, but it's hard because albums take a long time and a lot of work.
Yeah, absolutely believe it. But it's a great album, Reinvent. And it's just, if you're listening to this, listener, just go and stream Reinvent. Obviously stream Reimagine and the newer stuff as well. But if you're looking for a bit of a deep dive into sort of mid 2010s, I definitely think it's gonna be good to start there. So the track you suggested to play from Reinvent was Frailty, featuring Milkymomo. I had never heard of Milkymomo before this show. Are they still active in the fandom?
I don't think she was ever active in the fandom. I only had contact with her because we went to college. We went to the same music college, yeah. She used to be close friends with some IRL friends of mine, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I know that because of she was on Frailty, I know that Forever Free Brony picked her up on a track or two, but I don't think she's like in the fandom.
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware, anyway. I haven't spoken in a while.
Well, that explains why I couldn't find much about her.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was going through your head when you were writing this one, which was eventually released in September of 2016?
Oh, geez. There was an older version of Frailty that came out a couple of years earlier, but when I was writing it, it was all season 4 finale of MLP. So Twilight versus T-Rex, I was like, yo, that was fucking epic. I want to write a song about that. And I had the instrumental for Frailty written like years earlier. I just couldn't write lyrics to it to save my life. And I opened it up after season 4 happened, whenever, and it just worked. And I was like, okay, that works. Now we've got a cool song. And yeah, I'm I still really like it today. It's one of my favorite tracks I've ever written.
Cool. Yeah. Well, let's give Frailty a spin. Because, yeah, Sounds interesting. One of your favorite tracks you've ever written. Interesting. Okay, let's go.
Hey.
Fuck. That shreds.
It's better than the last thing.
It's onwards,
It's better
onwards.
than Rainbow Thrash.
Yeah, absolutely, onwards and upwards. And that is a song that like draws its inspiration so clearly from the text of My Little Pony. What was it about the show that you found inspiring for writing your music?
It's hard to put my finger on it. I just really, really enjoyed it. Like, there's things I enjoy. Like, I'm super into Star Wars. Star Wars is probably like the only other thing I'm into as much as Pony. And like some animes and stuff. And there's so many. There's things like video games that I really enjoy, but none of them make me want to write music. Uh, I don't know. It's something about the characters, and they're easy to write about because there's a lot of world building. You can really like. They've kind of people say like, oh, I wish they'd have done more world building in MLP. It's like, well, I guess they could do more, but they've kind of sketched out the rough like picture of a lot of stuff, so you can like kind of dive into it and make your own thing out of it, and that's so easy to do with MLP for some reason. And yeah, I do a ton of that. I don't know, it's hard to say exactly what it was, but I just enjoy it a lot, and I find it easy, and other people like it too, so win-wins.
Yeah,
Wins all
yeah,
around.
and I do like the idea that any hole in world building is just fan fiction waiting to be made, or fan
yeah.
music or fan art or whatever. Because I agree. I think that they did make a world, but also they've just left enough that it's like, yeah, we can make our own things in here. Not everything is solved.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. So, and I think it's about this time, I think in 2015 or 2016, that you started a Patreon. Am I getting that right, or was that later?
I feel like it was later, but that's probably because everything feels like it was recent. I'm
I think,
old.
maybe not. Maybe it was about 2018. Anyway, let's just talk about that for a sec. So, have you done music? Obviously, you started doing music as a hobby, but you've been and you studied music. Do you work in music full time?
My YouTube channel, like my online music stuff, is my full-time job basically now. Yeah. Yeah. Took a long time to get there. It's the dream, but it ain't easy.
Absolutely. And can you talk us through sort of like what the process of building that was like, and how the fandom sort of helped you with that?
But things were really easy at the start. Well, I was lucky basically because I started making music when the fandom was like exploding. People were really into it. And I had a lot of ideas, so I could just keep going and write more stuff, and the show was still going at the time. And I was at a point in my life where I was quite young, living with the parentals, so I didn't have to get a job and spend tons of time into doing that instead of writing music. I was just free to do it, and yeah, and from there I've kind of started monetizing things because you kind of have to these days. I found out not that long ago that YouTube will not recommend your video so much if it's not monetized because they make money on the ads as well. So I was like, well, crap, I guess I have to do that now. Plus, like,
Cheeky.
yeah, I did want to make it. Yeah, I did want to make it a real career for myself. So I was like, I guess I got to monetize, got to diversify, got to do all those lame money things. But yeah, it's part of the game, I suppose.
Absolutely. And also like some of those lame money things like merch and you know, like Patreon and that sort of stuff. You are still bringing beautiful things into the world, even if people are paying for them.
Do
And
my best.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. So was that like a dream of yours when you were younger, that like yeah, I'm gonna do music full time? Was that something you were always working towards, or was it just something that you sort of woke up one day and you're like, oh, maybe I should actually start chasing this with the following I've built?
It was a dream for a while. But like it was one of those dreams where you kind of like just kind of bullshit with your friends, like, oh, imagine if we did this or that. And then we like, this is when I was in bands before Pony, so we were like, oh, we're gonna have a tour bus and we're gonna tour the world and it's gonna be so cool. Of course that never really panned out. And like, so I'm kind of living the dream in a way, it's just in a very different way. I'm like a solo fandom musician now. Still get to travel to cons and stuff, which is the coolest thing ever. But yeah, you find out things aren't as easy. Like, traveling around is brutal. I'm not good at, I'm not like a big strong guy. I can't carry all my gear by myself. It's rough. And also I get sick really easily. So like, especially nowadays, flying is scary. Um, yeah, like it's great, and I would never trade it in for anything, but it's not as easy as I imagined it would be.
Yeah. I don't think it ever is.
Yeah.
All right, let's turn to some of your more recent works. You've really, like, over the past sort of 3 or 4 years, you've really consistently just been pumping out like track after track. It's all quality. It's all really good. What was there anything that sort of changed that allowed you to get that sort of consistency of release and inspiration? Sort of, I feel like in the last third of your time in the fandom, like it's really just been like machine pumping it out.
I don't know. I did it like at the point where I was like, I want to make a career out of this. I want to take this seriously. I did a lot of things. I looked into like, okay, how does the algorithm work? When should I be uploading? What kind of things should I be doing? How do I make a good thumbnail? How do I use my tags properly? Okay, what else should I be doing? How do I connect better with the people who actually care enough to watch me? And like, okay, you should live stream if you do that, which is a big thing I've been doing recently, which is a ton of fun as well. And I was like, okay, first thing was the schedule, and it's like you don't need to make like a super. It doesn't have to be like every week or every day, as long as you're doing it roughly the same time, consecutively. The algorithm will pick up on that. So I try to do it on the first Wednesday of every month. This month I've missed it. Clearly, it's the second month in a row I've missed it. Things are getting complicated. I've been a little bit burned out recently, but it's fine. I've got a lot of stuff in the back catalog to get through. But it's usually video editing that takes the most time now, or at least it still takes longer than I expect it to take. So it kind of can screw up my schedule a bit. But yeah, that's my main thing is just like trying to keep a schedule, trying to diversify, trying to do what I can to make a career out of this while not sacrificing in the actual music at all, because that's just not an option for me.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
don't want to do that.
And
Yeah,
also,
I
you've
believe
done
the content as always.
yeah, yeah. The content, the fucking, the content mines hacking away with your pickaxe.
Yeah.
And also in this sort of past, like you've always, I think quite unusually, you've had like collabs like quite consistently throughout your entire time in Pony. At least sort of looking through, like there's a lot of artists who for their first 4 or 5 years of releasing music don't do a single collab. And maybe am I just tripping balls? No.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
It's hard because the whole like collab bro meme kind of discourages a lot of people, I feel,
Oh yeah,
to
always.
even try.
But like especially I think in the past 3 or 4 years, like almost every single one of your songs is a collab. What's been your experience collaborating with people in the fandom? And do you have a favorite artist that you've collaborated with?
See, I see collabs like kind of differently. Like, basically everything I do features someone because there are things I like to have in my music that I can't do myself, so I get someone else. Collabs to me are like when you, with someone else from the ground up, start the song together, and you kind of like it's a real collaboration between two people. God, who have I worked with though?
Oh,
The most common one I work with is go
so
on.
you're talking more like it's like a co. You think a collab is like a co-design, whereas like a featuring artist, sort of you separate those two in your mind.
Yeah, for me, featuring is like what I most commonly do is I'll write a song, I'll write the lyrics, I'll record and produce everything, and then I'll be like, okay, I want harmonies in this chorus, or like like a small part with a different vocalist here to illustrate like a different thing happening in the song or something, and I'll get someone into that. Um, but because that's usually when I've written everything, and they just kind of do what I say. They just work like as a contractor basically.
Yeah.
Whereas collabs is like, yeah, they have equal part in writing the song from the start. That's what I think of when I say collab anyway. Um, but yeah, it's the favorite person to have collabed with. Oh my god, oh, I'm not sure. There's a lot for
You can list a
for
couple. You don't have to do a favorite. You can list a couple.
I think the top 3 for me would be Sable Symphony, purely because he's so quick and easy to work with. He does great stuff. He's a fantastic singer, fantastic musician in general. He writes amazing stuff. I think he wrote the instrumentation for Holy Fire, if you've heard that one, which is one of my favorites. Very 2010s attack kind of style of post-hardcore stuff. Then it'd be Jikro and Frozen Night, two orchestral guys. Jikro, absolutely massive in the fandom right now. He's a total juggernaut, doing amazing stuff, getting tons of views. He's killing it. Frozen Night's a lot smaller, but he's incredibly underappreciated in my opinion. He's also an orchestral guy. What was the last track I did with him? It wasn't that long ago. I've had him work on a bunch of things. A lot of them are unreleased, but they're pretty sweet. I just haven't released them yet, but they're gonna be good.
When it comes, it's gonna come.
Yeah. Those would be my favorites overall, I'd say.
And do you have a
someone who's gonna get really mad at me?
everyone get on Twitter and cancel PrinceWhateverer because you didn't write your favorite collab artist. Do you have a dream? Do you have a dream collab? Who asked this question? Kazi asks, do you have a dream musical collaboration? And I'm gonna say within the fandom and also outside of the fandom.
Okay, within the fandom, it's hard because I've collabed with basically everyone.
You're living the dream.
Yeah, mostly. I don't know. Oh, who's doing stuff? Who's doing stuff recently? Oh God, if you remember Ken Applejack from back in the day, they were insane. Their production was next level, even like all the way back in like 2012. Their production was already leagues ahead of everyone else. Metal person, but they're completely gone now. They were cool. Yeah, needs more gent back then. Would like to collab with him. Wish I was good enough back in the day to do that. There is someone. Oh God, I forgot their name. Crap. What? I had it. Ah, jeez. I forget. It was something electronic. No, I can't think of it. I don't know. Oh,
it'll come to you in the shower tonight.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
And outside the fandom, if you just shoot for the stars, who is it gonna be?
Do VAs from the show count?
Yeah, absolutely.
Outside the fandom? Okay, I really wanted to get Claire Collette to do a part for a Sweetie Bot song, to do Sweetie Belle for a Sweetie Bot song at some point. That'd be awesome. I really want to. I almost got Kelly Sheridan for a part, Starlight Glimmer, for a part in a parody thing, but she couldn't because that counts as work, and if she's doing the Starlight voice, then it's in Hasbro's jurisdiction, and it opens up a whole thing. And I was like, okay, no worries.
Yeah.
But that'd been awesome.
The incredible complications.
Yeah, for stuff that's completely outside though. Oh jeez. I mean, it had to just be my favorite band right now, which is probably Amity Affliction and Hands Like Houses, and The Day to Remember is still one of my favorites. So one of those. Hey, two out of three of those are Australian bands. Ain't that something?
Indeed. Fuck yeah, Land Down Under. That's the Australia tax for this episode. We've mentioned Australia, so I'll take that one off the bingo card. Yeah, it's always funny seeing like metal touring shows in Australia. It's like, oh yeah, half the artists on this lineup are Australian and also just headlining. It's fucking, we love to see it.
Something about your place, dude.
Yeah, it's the spiders. It's always the spiders. Everyone's so scared.
The spiders. Yeah.
Oh dear. All right, let's play some more music. And let's play one of these collabs. Let's play Lost in Data, which is Destabilize Part 2 featuring Vylet, which would eventually be released on Reimagine. What was the process like of writing and getting that recorded?
I wasn't super okay. So I emulate other bands I like a lot, and for this one, I think I was super into Throne by Bring Me the Horizon. Got a very similar intro with like the rapid fire synths going, and then it goes like the dun dun, and then it all kicks in with everything. Very similar intro. From then it really changes, but yeah, I was really into that song. I was like, I want to do something like that. I want to do something similar. Like I wanted a similar synth tone. I wanted a similar kind of intro, and like the energy it was giving me. And I wrote it, and it tends to work out. The songs, like the heavier songs of mine that have a ton of synth, they just become Destabilize songs because it just works out really well. And yeah, it was pretty easy after that. I have found so far with the Destabilize tracks that the lyrics come really easily, and that's not normal for me. I'm really bad at lyrics in like 90% of cases. They take me forever. But this one really worked quite well, and I think yeah, I got to the part where Vylet's part in the song where there's a break, and I was completely stumped. I have no idea what to do, and I messaged her. I was like, "Yo, do you want to just do a thing?" And I didn't even have the lyrics. She wrote her own parts, and I was like, "Oh, God bless you," because I can't think of anything right now. And yeah, it really added to the song. It was a great part, and yeah, people love Vylet too. So killer collab in my eyes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it
And
worked out pretty well.
not the first time you've collabed either.
I think you're right. I think I did something with her first.
Yeah, you've done Danger Close on
Yeah.
Super Pony World, I think. Which also just shreds. And like a lot of these collabs feel like a real fusion of styles where, you know, you've got the metal and the rock influence, but you've also got the dance music influence and the bass and the wobs and all those ones. And it's such a cool crossover because I don't think it's something like I'm not the biggest metal and rock music fan outside of the fandom. But I don't feel like it's something you see particularly often. Especially in I don't know, like music you'd hear on the radio or the sort of the more popular stuff. Do you enjoy like mashing up those styles and switching it up a bit?
I love it. It's one of my favorite things to do. It's just hard because yeah, there's reasons people don't usually do it in the mainstream because people you usually go into it thinking like, yo, everyone's gonna love this because there's something for everybody. But when each genre has a small part in the song and then the rest of it is not that genre, you just basically make everyone mad and no one likes it in the end. Just like all the rock guys are coming like, yo, there's one cool rock part, but the rest of the song is boring. I'm not going to sit through 3 minutes of a song to get to like 5 seconds of a cool bit, so I'm not going to care. And then the dubstep guys think the same thing for their part, and the rap guys think the same thing, and it's just, yeah, it just doesn't work out like that. So I try and make it through the whole track. Like with the Destabilize songs, there's always some like a lot of electronic elements to it, but a lot of heavy stuff at the same time. But it's always more or less happening. So it kind of becomes its own thing in a way. Not really. There are tons of bands do electronic and metal at the same time. Mine's clearly leaning towards the metal a lot more. But yeah, as long as it sounds good to me, I'm happy to do it, and people seem to like it too. So
Yeah, definitely.
hooray.
And I think the Sweetie Bot through line, especially in the Destabilize tracks, really helps tie everything together. Because like tonally it fits and like the lyrics fit and the tone fits and in my opinion that's why I think those tracks seem to do so well is just because you have something other than the music genres or whatever to tie it together. All right, so let's give Lost in Data, which is very helpfully hyphenated and underscored. To be incomprehensible to read, but we have learned today that it's pronounced Lost in Data. So yeah, let's give that a play.
I don't think that you've got the nerve. Though you wear a disguise, it's there in your eyes. Is this what they tell you I deserve? How do you think that we got this way? I don't know you anymore, you say. Well, let me remind you of your own past, all while you pretend you've forgotten my name.
Fuck.
Yeah, still one of my faves. I like that one.
Yeah. Oh, the bridge is just perfect. It just
Yeah.
that just
Vylet's part?
just like the atmosphere of the whole bridge, and just the way that Vylet comes in just so subtly and just like oh.
Yeah, she killed it. Totally killed it.
Absolutely music. All right, let's hit you with some rapid fire questions.
Oh, all right.
All right, so Kazi asked the most cursed question of all that could only come out of someone from the British fucking Isles. What's the appropriate wheat bix to beans ratio?
Kazi. Oh, Jesus. 80% beans. You want to add 20% Weetabix for a little bit of crunch, but that's all.
Okay, cursed. General Spooky asked, what's your favorite type of cheese?
Oh, mild cheddar. Used to be a big fan of super mature cheddar, but it's a bit much for me nowadays. I'm a baby, so yeah, mild is good.
Brutal. Biscuit Tunes asks, can you play Wonderwall Hun XO?
Oh my god, literally no. I've never learned that song in my life.
Wait, whoa, stop, wait. Are you telling me there's someone that's played the guitar that can't play Wonderwall?
Yep. I can't.
Oh
Not even
my.
for the meme, I don't know how to play it. Yeah. I'm a fraud, what can I say?
Oh dear. Shyfire asks, what do you prefer recording, screams or vocals?
Screams. I'll take normal singing stuff. It's a lot easier on my voice, and I don't have to warm up for 20 minutes beforehand. Screams are brutal, and they usually leave me dead for the rest of the day afterwards.
Have you ever done screams live?
Only tiny bits if I'm really into it, and it's near the end of the set anyway, so if I damage my voice it doesn't matter anymore. But usually no, I leave all that to either a person who I have to just do screams or backing track.
Mad. Alright, what questions? Ambazar asks, will you be at Everfree Northwest 2022?
Oh, I mean, I'd like to. I plan to hit. There's a funny story. So, okay. So 2019, I hit like a ton of cons. At one point, I did 7 cons in 5 months, and like that absolutely destroyed me. But then I told myself, yo, in 2020, I'm gonna take a break and not do any more cons for a year. And then, of course, Corona happened, so I didn't really get a choice in the end of that. So yeah, now the cons are coming back. I plan to hit every single con I physically can. I don't care if it like makes me sick or if I get tired or exhausted. I don't care. I need to hit every single one. So the plan is yes. Whatever con you want me to be at, the plan is yes, I'll be there as long as the con wants me there and I can get there. I'll do it.
Ooh, very exciting. Okay, and so you mentioned that 2019 incredible con performance period. So around that time as well, in October of 2019, you released the Solidarity multi-animator project, which was also around the end of My Little Pony. Was it? Yeah.
I think I have a feeling
Or
we
it's-
tried to crunch that out for like the 9-year anniversary or something.
Yeah, it was like during some of the final seasons of the show. And
It was on October 10th, yeah.
yeah. I remember like Party like who does one of the arts at the start. I remember her just like being so stressed about that crunch. It was an interesting thing to watch. Interesting thing to watch from a distance. So the song itself is a bit of a like it's a statement about how you feel about the fandom and how far we've come, but also like where we are at the moment, and what the fandom still has left to give. What was your inspiration for the Solidarity, and why did you do it as a multi-animator project?
Okay, for the song, I think it was just after BronyCon 2018. I was like, I don't know, going to cons is always a big moment of inspiration for me. It always reminds me how many people there are out there who are still here, still care, still enjoy the show and stuff. I was like, yep, I need to write something about, because all my songs have been about happenings in the show or like headcanon happenings in the show. It's never been about the fans specifically. And I was like, well, we've been here for like a decade. Maybe I should do something about them. And yeah, that was a ton of fun to write. Took a while to get the lyrics down, but it was actually quite easy to get them all written out. It just took a while to get them to where I was happy and it all flowed well and made sense and had the emotional impact I felt like it should have had. The animation thing though, that wasn't my idea. I had done the song solo with its own video that's already released previously, but I think it was Hyperdash. She came to me and was like, "Yo, I want to do a multi-animator project." And 9 times out of 10, when you hear someone wants to do that for whatever song, it usually falls through, doesn't work. So I was like, yeah, sure, go for it. Do your best. Hopefully it works out. But no, they were serious. They were very serious, and they got a ton of people involved. And I think they paid for a bunch of ads on Dopey Baru to show up, like the banner ads you get on there. So I'm like, yo, come join our animation project. And I was like, oh, we're taking this seriously. Okay. Yeah, it was absolutely her project. Beyond mine. Her and I think I don't know how to say their name, Kometa or AS Kometa. They were the other head of the thing. They really helped out in the end, getting everything done on time. Yeah, the time crunch at the end was a real issue. That a little bit of drama went around on behind the scenes because of that, but it all worked out in the end. So whatever, I suppose.
Yeah, nobody ever sees the drama.
Yeah, no, it's never in the plan. But yeah, it worked out, and I love it. The fact that people even wanted to do this using my song was incredible to me, and it worked out. So yeah, nothing but good feels with this one.
Yeah, absolutely. And Princess Starglow asks, are you planning on doing another big project like that? And if so, could they be in it?
Collab, bro. I'm not sure. Big projects are hard. They're so. You always miss your deadlines. It's always going to be late. It's always going to be a ton of work and a ton of drama to deal with, and that's fine as long as the end product is good. But it's scary because if too much goes down, then someone who's integral to the project might just up and fuck off, and then you're screwed. So it's scary. But I do have some things in mind. I want to do a very like a not an EP, I guess. I wanted to do like a 6-track-ish maybe EP thing with songs. I wanted it to be like a prequel thing about Celestia and Luna, like how they were babies and they grew up and then had the big fight and stuff all throughout that whole thing. But I want every track to have like its own animatic and stuff. It'd be like a super fancy thing with tons of cool artwork and all this story. But yeah, that's hard. I had the idea for the four tracks for Reimagine, and they still aren't even finished with like the additional media, I guess, like the animations and stuff. So I don't know if I'm gonna go through with that, but we'll see. I have some people in mind who could help me out, make that work a lot better this time, rather than trying to do it all myself. Or well, do it in a different way. I say there were people helping me, but yeah, that's only an idea in my head right now. So who knows if it'll happen, but we'll see. Apart from that, no other huge plans. I want to do more animatics in general just for songs because I think they're super cool, but apart from that, yeah.
Sweet.
That's the only one.
All right, well, let's give Solidarity a spin as our final song for tonight. Because it rocks and it is feels. In a word, it is feels. Like, I've only been in this fandom for like 5 years now. I'm still quite a recent Brony in the grand scheme of things, and fucking hell, this still hits like a freight train. Even I'd only been in the fandom for 3 or 4 years when this came out, and just feels, still feels, more feels now. Yeah, let's do this.
All right.
say, I wouldn't be standing here if it weren't for the friendships I've made with all of you. Each one of you taught me something about friendship, and for that, I will always be grateful. Today, I consider myself the luckiest pony in Equestria. Thank you, friends. Thank you, every pony.
Wah.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's still a favorite. I feel like it borders that line of cool and cringe, right on the edge there.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like the fandom as a whole, like borders the line of cool and cringe in so many of its best creations. And it's part of the charm. So like that work, like it on one hand it looks to the past, but also in the other hand it's like, no, we're still fucking here, we're still fucking kicking. What do you have to say to people who say, oh, like we've already lived through the golden age of pony?
Well, what the fuck do you know? We'll see about that. You don't know until it's over. It's not over, so we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the chance of us seeing another explosion like in 2011 is quite small. But I don't know. I'm still here. I'm glad that the fandom's turned into more of a long-term thing rather than just like completely being dead. Like a lot of people say. People were saying the fandom was dead back in like when season 3 was airing. It's like, no, what are you talking about? Yeah, people can be stupid. Whatever.
Yeah.
They can think what they want.
And we're still here, we're still partying, and that's the most important thing.
Yes.
Yeah, and if you put your big retrospective hat on, where do you think you'd be as a person and as a musician without the Brony fandom?
I don't know. I really don't know. I would probably be working like some normie job and not be as happy as I am currently. I'm willing to bet on that. I'd probably be a worse person. I was a pretty awful person before ponies, I'll be honest. But that's fine. We all gotta grow. But yeah, I'd say if without horse, I would be worse across the board quite easily. Yeah.
Yeah, and do you have a proudest accomplishment in the fandom?
I'm pretty sure that the map of Solidarity is probably my proudest thing. Like, I didn't even do it. I just did the song, but the fact that people cared enough to do that really and wanted to go up on my channel was fucking incredible. Love it. Yeah, probably my proudest moment so
Yeah,
far.
there's so much love in that track, in that map, in its reception. It's just so much love.
Yep.
Do you have a favorite track? I mean, you've mentioned Solidarity a couple of times. But is that your number one track? Your favorite, or is there another one?
So far, I reckon. So far, it's a Solidarity still. It was Frailty for the longest time. But oh god, stop it. But yeah, Solidarity's taken that over quite handily, I would say. Just scroll through and take a quick look. There's other songs that are cool, but not any that have the same kind of meaning to me personally. Stuff, you know. But yeah, that'd be the one.
And have you ever played Solidarity live?
Oh yeah, ever since it came out, it's been a staple in the set. I have to play it live every time now. It's a difficult song, so yeah. But yep, I love
Okay.
doing it. People seem to really like it.
And Provox asked, do you have a favorite remix of any of your songs?
Oh, the people who have done of my tracks. I don't think people have really remixed my songs that much. I remember a couple back in the day. I'm trying to think. Are there many remixes? I think
I couldn't
Aviators
find
did a
many.
remix. I think Aviators did a remix back in the day. That was pretty sick. Um, Apart from that, I don't know of many at all, really, or any that I could speak of, except Aviators one that I can't remember because
Yeah,
it's been a long time since remixing other fandom songs was a big thing. That's at least that I'm aware of. I don't know.
I
Yeah.
think, and especially I feel like if you're in the dance music corner of the fandom, like, remix it's just a dime a dozen. But like I feel like it's just a lot rarer when you're making rock music because in so many ways, like the presentation of the track is just so integral to the track itself, and remixing just changes it in a way that I don't feel like dance music does. But I don't know. Maybe that's just a personal opinion.
Maybe.
Yeah, sweet. So what's in the future for PrinceWhateverer?
I don't know. I'm trying to fix this video right now. That's the only thing on my mind. What is in the future? Oh, I've got a big animatic coming out with another song that I don't reckon will be out until early next year. It's taken like we're in a part of the animatic process where it's all hard stuff now, so it's gonna take a while. That's gonna be cool. What else is there? Yeah, new song hopefully on Wednesday. Hopefully, if I can get the video done in time. Apart from that kind of album thing, I want to do another album. I want to do a bunch of G5 stuff. Looking forward to G5 big
Sick.
time when the series starts coming out. Yeah, I'm really excited for that. Apart from that, no, there's not any super big, concrete, like grand scheme plans. I just kind of take it as it comes, and
Keep on rocking.
yeah, we're still going. So yeah,
Fuck yeah.
so far so good.
All right, and my final question that I try to ask all of my guests: do you have anyone that you want to hear interviewed on this show because you think they'd have a good story to tell?
Ooh, I know Black and Blue is a close friend and musician of mine. He likes to talk a lot. He probably have a great time. I love him. He's great. Oh geez, a great story to tell specifically. Oh my lord.
Oh, anyone that you'd hear that you think would just be good to interview?
I don't know. I don't really I don't do the work you do, so I don't really think about interviewing people very often. Man, it'd be funny if you did Sable. He's not technically in the fandom anymore, but he still works with me a lot, and he used to be like super into it. He's got a picture on his Facebook of me and him together at BronyCon 2013. He's just a dude who's like said hello. I was a baby back then. I had like a couple thousand subscribers maybe, which is a lot, but back then it was tiny. Yeah, God, it'd be hilarious to hear from him about his whole journey, but yeah, apart from him, I'm blackened. I don't know. I don't have brain. Still works.
You just have music, and fucking hell, he's good at it. All right. If people, for the love of God, don't already follow your work, where can they find you on all of the places?
Oh, the quickest and easiest place is probably YouTube. Just type PrinceWhateverer and you'll find me. Apart from that, I am on Spotify. Same thing. Just type me in on iTunes, Apple Music, all that stuff. Amazon, Google Play, blah blah blah. And Twitter at PWhateverer and Twitch. I think stream every Wednesday, Saturday. It's Prince_whatever. Yes, I believe it is. But yeah, that's where I'm at on the internet mostly.
Well,
Come
sick.
say hi.
Yeah, absolutely. I strongly recommend listening to his entire discography front to back. Or maybe skipping the first 5 years. But
Yeah, I would.
it's a great trip. It's always my favorite part about preparing these shows is just like listening to someone's entire catalog because it's cool. And it's good music and it all fucking rocks. All right, well, thank you very much for coming on and telling us your story for Brony Music History. It's been an absolute pleasure. And yeah, hopefully you get some good rest tonight because I know I got you up a bit earlier than normal.
That's fine. Thank you so much for having me. It has been a blast. And yeah, I mean, dude, yesterday I woke up at I woke up early enough. I got out of bed at like 3 p.m. It's like I felt like a fucking slob, but it's probably a good thing I'm up early today. I'll try and get some work done. But yeah, thank you so much.
Fuck yeah. And for anyone listening, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Brony Music History. This is episode 9, so we're up with a big 10 next time. Yeah, if you are listening on Spotify or on any of the podcast channels, we have a YouTube channel. And this episode, there is actually video, so you can see us actually having a chat on our little computers. And if you're listening on YouTube and you want something easier to digest if you're doing something else, we're on Spotify and the podcast things. If you want to come find me, I'm on Twitter at RockFoxDJ. If you have anyone that you'd like to see interviewed, just send me a DM or at me or comment on the video, because I write down every single suggestion that people make. And I love it when people get passionate about artists that they want to see, because like that passion really drives me to go forward. So yeah, peace out everyone, and I'll see you later. And I'm going to sign out and see you next time. Bye.